Welcome back once again, everybody, to Cooking Something Up here at the FWE Test Kitchen. Today, guys, we're gonna do some whole roasted chicken. So with whole chickens, one thing that I like to do, this step is pretty important if you intend to carve the chicken after it's cooked. I like to remove the wishbone, and that just gives you a nice, easy removal of the breast once the chicken has been prepared and it's finished cooking in the oven. So first thing you want to do is just go ahead, breast side up on your chicken. You want to make sure this chicken is nice and dry, just with some paper towels or a clean kitchen towel. Just pat this guy really dry, spread him out a little bit, get all those little nooks and crannies dry of any excess liquid that may be on the chicken. Drying the inside of the cavity is important as well. It's gonna make sure that seasonings that you put on the chicken in a little while are gonna make sure they stay on there. So we're just gonna dry them up a little bit, like you just got out of the bathtub. And we're gonna get started. So first thing we're gonna do, probably wanna use a nice sharp boning knife. Fillet knife will work as well, or if you're really confident with your knife skills, this can be done with a paring knife or a chef's knife. Breast side up, neck side, so the top of the bird, next to the wings, you're gonna see the opening cavity for the, this is where the neck will come out and the head will come out of the chicken. So we're just gonna pull this skin back. I like to keep the skin intact. Probably my favorite part of the chicken besides the wing is the skin. As you can tell, it's good for the old belly. But you'll actually be able to feel with your thumb in there. You'll just go right into that cavity and you'll actually be able to feel the wishbone inside of the breastplate of the chicken. So we're looking for the top of the wishbone, and with our knife, we're just gonna insert at the top of that point, and then we're just gonna look and feel for that bone running down both sides of the breast lobes. So there's the first one. I'm just gonna go and have my knife tip follow that bone. And I'm just gonna follow that bone all the way down to where it meets the wing joint. And you just wanna insert just the tip of your knife. You don't wanna carve the chicken. You just wanna expose that bone. So there's one side. You can see that that bone is now almost free. I'm gonna go up and around the top part of the wishbone. So this area is free. I'm gonna go up here and free this up and then back down the other side. The back side of your knife, you'll actually feel sliding up and down on the back side of that bone. Just keep that in contact and then make sure you're not just completely massacring this chicken before we get a chance to cook it. And just with your fingers, just gonna go down, loosen up any excess meat that's still around there. Might need a little more cut with your knife. And then I just cut straight through that joint. And we try to get this out in one piece. It doesn't always happen, but we're gonna try because we wanna make a wish later. And then we'll be able to just simply, very simply, pull that wishbone out. And again, that's really gonna help when you, it's really gonna help when you go to actually carve the chicken once it's been cooked. You don't have to cut around this bone and get yourself a nice even cut as you're taking the breast off the bird. So we want to clean this wishbone up. The key, though, to making the wishbone viable is you should not break it at this point. You should actually let that bone set out and dry for a couple of days. Just get all the moisture out of that bone so that it becomes nice and brittle. And then two loving people can stand next to each other and wish for something that they'll probably never get, but whoever gets the biggest piece, that's who wins, right? Chicken is gonna have a little excess fat, so I'm just gonna go through here and make sure that some of this little fat, I'm gonna go ahead and cut out, usually around the back end of the chicken. We'll discard that. I've already cleaned up this chicken, so this guy is ready to be seasoned up. Likewise, there is his little brothers over here. I've already dried these up and getting ready to go ahead and season these all. What I like to do before I season the chicken, especially like I said, if I'm doing a whole roasted chicken and the final presentation is pretty important. I just want to go ahead and tie the chicken, also known as trussing the chicken. Same thing you would do with a piece of beef or a large cut of pork or something like that. You just want to truss it, and this actually helps the chicken cook more evenly, and it gives you a really nice presentation. So we just want to make sure that the legs stay tight to the body, creating this nice cohesive mass here. All right, we're gonna go ahead and finish off prepping up these chickens. These birds are looking nice and ready to get in the oven. So just gonna do a really basic little rub on these chickens. Just a little olive oil, whole butter, my favorite Cavendish season, a little Tuscan rub. Really, you can season this bird however you like, whatever flavor profiles you're trying to achieve. Fresh herbs are always a good choice. A little bit of binder, oil, or butter on the skin to help your seasoning stick. A lot of people like to do a little herbed seasoned butter under the skin. That's a great technique to help ensure, especially the white meat, the breast on the chicken stays nice and moist. So if you're gonna do that, you just kind of want to pull back the skin a little bit, loosen it from the actual meat of the bird. So we'll just go ahead and kind of open up a little small pocket there right over the top of these, or between the breast meat and skin. A lot of people may want to stuff their bird. It's a great way to add some extra flavor to the bird as it cooks as well. So we're actually gonna do that today. One suggestion I would make when you're stuffing a bird is not to stuff it too tightly. So all we have here is an orange, a little chopped onion, and some bay leaves. And you can pretty much stuff this guy with whatever you want. Again, whatever flavor profiles you're trying to achieve. But we just don't wanna overstuff it to make sure that the chicken does cook nice and evenly. So first thing I'm gonna do is just go ahead and stuff some of these chopped onions down in there, along with some of these bay leaves. And this is just gonna be loosely packed into the cavity of the chicken. Now, if you wanted to go whole rosemary or whole thyme or parsley, onion, shallot, whole garlic, cloves, bay leaf, fresh or dried, any herbs really work really nicely. Citrus works really nicely. A couple of chopped lemons or oranges or limes if you're trying to stick with something a little more in that profile as well. Let's go ahead and cut this guy up. Just gonna quarter this orange. We've got our birds stuffed with some aromatics. Just gotta make sure that's all nice and tight in there. And then we're gonna go ahead and start with a little bit of this butter. We're just gonna go ahead and just put some of this right down between the skin and the breast meat. And this is just plain butter here, Trey, but like I said, if you want to do a nice little compound butter or herb butter instead of the plain butter, that's only gonna improve the flavor on your chicken. And then this excess butter, I'm just gonna go ahead and just rub this over the bird, just all over the bird. Let's get down to some of those nooks and crannies. This will actually help the chicken brown and get a nice golden finish as it cooks. Butter is great for that. It's also gonna make sure that skin gets nice and crispy as the butter melts and cooks. And it's also gonna impart a lot of flavor to the bird. So no matter what your doctor says, butter's good all around, you know. Anything in moderation, right? So we've got this guy rubbed with butter. Next thing I'm gonna do is go ahead and get this guy seasoned up. Again, I'm just gonna do a little olive oil just to help some of this seasoning stick as we put it on. Just give that a nice rub. A little olive oil in the cavity as well. And then really seasoning of your choice. Just make sure it's nice and coated all over the chicken. So our seasoned chicken here is ready to join his brothers and sisters on our chicken roasting rack. This is available through FWE. Great little tool if you're gonna be doing any type of bulk chicken roasting. These will also hold some smaller turkeys as well. So this guy's just gonna go on the spit. Just like that. It's gonna keep the bird upright as it cooks. And we're gonna go ahead and get these guys in the retherm oven and start our roast. All right, guys, so we're gonna go ahead and get our oven ready for our chickens to load in. And so we're gonna go ahead and set up our cook settings. So we're gonna cook these birds at 325 degrees. We're gonna cook via probe for an internal temperature of 140. We're not gonna use any moisture during the cook, and that's because I really want to maintain that nice crispy skin that develops during the cook on the chicken. So we're gonna skip the moisture setting for the cook. We're also gonna skip the moisture setting for the hold. Now the vent schedule is pretty important for a roasted chicken because again, we wanna maintain the nice juicy meat, but also that nice crispy skin exterior. So we want somewhere for the excess moisture to go to kind of develop that nice crispy skin on the outside of the chicken. So we're gonna leave the vent closed for the first 3 quarters of the cook, and then we're gonna open the vent on the 4th quarter to allow that excess moisture somewhere to go and help finish developing that nice crispy skin. And stick that probe right into the thigh, right into the thick of the thigh there. All right, welcome back, everybody. It is time to see the finished product. These guys have gone through their cook cycle. We cooked these to an internal temp of 140 degrees at 325 with the carryover cooking. These have all reached an internal temperature of about 165, between 165 and 175 degrees. You can see they've been now holding for just under 2.5 hours. So we're gonna go ahead and pop this open. And there we got some baby birds. So we'll go ahead and disconnect the probe. Oh. Welcome back again. We've got these birds fresh out of the oven. So I'm just gonna go ahead and get them off the chicken rack here. These guys just pull straight up. Don't mind if you lose some of the stuffing from those. And I will save all of this juice. That's all flavor right there. So if you're looking to make a nice homemade sauce, a little jus lee, a little gravy, save that juice. Make a really, really nice sauce. We'll use just a nice sharp boning knife. Go ahead and pull the rest of these oranges and bay leaves and onions out of the cavity. Again, a lot of times these onions can be used for a nice little, maybe you're gonna make a nice little onion gravy. Can keep those to the side. And then we'll go ahead and start carving this guy down. So I'm just gonna take the leg joints off. And this thing is just falling apart, as you can see. Leg thigh. Where you at? Where you at? Man. Go ahead and take the wing sections off. It's just falling apart. So earlier we had removed that wishbone, and this is a good chance to show you why. Because before you would not be able to make that incision. The wishbone would catch right here at the top of the breast. But this makes it very, very easy for anybody to carve that breast out. Keep that breast whole. We're just gonna follow the rib cage. And you successfully removed the breast and actually all 8 portions of the chicken. So 2 breasts, 2 thighs, legs, and wings. And that right there, that carcass, always good to keep those for a little chicken stock. Pull the rest of the meat off there. There's still gonna be a lot of meat, usable meat on the carcass. It's great for soup or stock or pot pie, but definitely don't wanna let that go to waste. Oh man. And I'm just gonna sit here and keep eating this chicken.